Why this sequel? Many of you may be wondering if our journey has already begun. Why pause before traveling further into history? Why not continue directly into the great civilizations, revolutions, and transformations that unfolded while Pluto journeyed through Capricorn and Aquarius? The answer is simple. Before we understand Pluto's influence, we must first understand our time travel companion, Pluto itself. Imagine reading the biography of an extraordinary individual without ever knowing who that person was, or studying the history of a great nation without first locating it on a map. The experience would always feel incomplete. The same is true for Pluto. Pluto, the planet, was founded in the year 1930 and discovered by Clyde Tombaugh, and this planet was observed at Lowell Observatory. The name Pluto was named after the Roman god of the underworld. Where is Pluto? Pluto orbits the distant outskirts of our solar system. How was it discovered? Pluto was discovered in 1930 by astronomer Clyde Tombaugh. Why was it once called the ninth planet? Pluto was initially classified as the ninth planet in our solar system. Why was it later reclassified as a dwarf planet? Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet due to its size and orbital characteristics. What secrets did NASA reveal when humanity finally reached this distant world? NASA's mission revealed Pluto's icy mountains. Understanding these questions give us valuable scientific context before we explore Pluto's historical and astrological symbolism. This series is built upon three complementary perspectives. Astronomy tells us what Pluto is. History shows us what happened while Pluto moved through time. Astrology explores how generations have interpreted those long planetary cycles. Only when these perspectives are viewed together can we fully appreciate why Pluto continues to fascinate so many people. So, before our time machine carries us back to the year 1532, let us make one important stop. Let us travel not through history but through space to Pluto. Let us visit the distant frontier of our solar system and meet the mysterious world of Pluto that will accompany us throughout this extraordinary journey. Welcome to Pluto, the frozen kingdom at the edge of the solar system. Pluto unveiled the frozen world of surprises. Today, we leave the debate behind and travel to Pluto itself to examine what kind of world it really is. What does Pluto look like? What is its surface made of? Why are scientists so fascinated by a body once dismissed as a frozen relic at the edge of the solar system? As it turns out, Pluto is one of the most complex and geologically diverse worlds ever explored. NASA describes it as a world of mountains, valleys, plains, glaciers, and craters, a remarkable discovery made possible by the satellite New Horizons mission in 2015. Today, we shall travel nearly 6 billion kilometers from Earth to one of the most mysterious worlds ever discovered in our solar system. For centuries, Pluto remained hidden from human eyes. It lies billions of kilometers from Earth, orbiting the Sun in the frozen darkness beyond Neptune. It takes nearly 248 Earth years to complete a single revolution around the Sun, making it one of the slowest moving worlds in our solar system. Yet, this tiny, distant world has captured the imagination of astronomers, historians, philosophers, and astrologers alike. Before we begin our remarkable journey through nearly 7 centuries of human history, I believe we should first meet our silent companion on this voyage. A tiny world at the solar system's frontier, Pluto resides in the Kuiper belt, a vast region beyond Neptune, populated by countless of icy bodies left over from the formation of the solar system. Although often imagined as a giant distant world, Pluto is actually quite small. Its diameter is only about 1,400 miles, or roughly 2,377 kilometers. In fact, if placed across the United States, it would stretch only about halfway from coast to coast. Yet, distance amplifies its mystery. Pluto orbits the Sun at an average distance of roughly 3.6 billion miles, receiving only a tiny fraction of the sunlight that reaches Earth. At such distances, sunlight is so weak that noon on Pluto resembles deep twilight on Earth. Pluto follows one of the most unusual orbits among the major bodies of our solar system. One complete revolution around the Sun requires approximately 248 Earth years. This means that Pluto remains in each zodiac constellation for many years, explaining why astrologers associate Pluto with generational transformation rather than everyday events. Its orbit is also highly elliptical and inclined compared with the other planets. Interestingly, for part of its journey, Pluto actually travels closer to the Sun than Neptune, although the two worlds never collide because their orbital paths are locked in a stable gravitational resonance. A single day on Pluto lasts approximately 6.4 Earth days, meaning the Sun rises and sets very slowly across its icy horizon. Before 2015, many scientists envisioned Pluto as a cold, heavily cratered ice ball. Then the spacecraft New Horizons arrived. The spacecraft revealed a landscape so varied that planetary scientists compared its complexity to that of Mars. The most famous feature is the bright, heart-shaped region known as Tombaugh ratio, named after Pluto's discoverer, Clyde Tombaugh. Within this heart lies one of the most extraordinary places in the solar system, called a Sputnik Planitia. Sputnik Planitia is a vast basin filled with frozen nitrogen ice. What makes it astonishing is its youth. Unlike ancient surfaces riddled with impact craters, this region is remarkably smooth, suggesting it is constantly being renewed by active geological processes. Think about that for a moment. At the edge of the solar system, where temperatures plunge below minus 230 degrees Celsius, Pluto still manages to reshape its surface. Mountains made of water ice. On Earth, mountains are made largely of rock. But on Pluto, the story is different. The temperatures are so low that ordinary water ice becomes as hard as granite. Scientists discovered mountain ranges rising several kilometers above the surface, constructed primarily from water ice. These mountains stand beside plains of frozen nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide. The contrast creates a landscape unlike anything else in the solar system. Some regions resemble rugged alpine terrain, while others appear smooth and level like frozen seas. The discovery of these mountains indicated that Pluto was not geologically dead. At some point, powerful internal forces must have lifted these icy blocks upward. One of New Horizons' most surprising findings was evidence of glaciers, but these are not water glaciers like those found in Greenland or Antarctica. Instead, Pluto's glaciers are composed primarily of nitrogen ice. Scientists observed signs that these icy masses slowly flow across the landscape, carving valleys and transporting materials over time and time again. Even under the faint sunlight of distant solar system, Pluto's surface remains dynamic enough to sustain this frozen form of geological activity. This revealed Pluto as a living world, not biologically alive, perhaps, but geologically alive and active too. At first glance, Pluto appears brownish and reddish. Those colors come from complex organic compounds called tholin, formed when solar radiation interacts with methane and nitrogen in Pluto's atmosphere and on its surface. These materials gradually create the reddish tint visible in New Horizons images. The surface displays dramatic contrasts. Some areas are bright and reflective, while others are dark and ancient. Scientists have found regions ranging from nearly pristine icy plains to heavily cratered terrains that may date back billions of years. In essence, Pluto's surface preserves a geological history book written across ice. Despite its small size, Pluto possesses an atmosphere. It is extremely thin and composed mainly of nitrogen along with smaller amounts of methane and carbon monoxide. Yet, this atmosphere behaves in remarkable ways. As Pluto travels around the Sun, portions of its surface ice can sublimate, changing directly from solid to gas. Later, when temperatures decline, those gases refreeze onto the surface. This ongoing cycle creates seasonal changes unlike anything experienced on Earth. Spacecraft New Horizons also observed multiple layers of atmospheric haze extending high above the surface, giving Pluto an ethereal blue glow when viewed from behind. For a world once thought inert, Pluto proved astonishingly active. The hidden interior, what lies beneath Pluto's frozen crust, scientists believe Pluto consists of a mixture of rock and ice. Models suggest a rocky core surrounded by layers of water ice. Research has even raised the possibility of a subsurface ocean hidden beneath the icy shell. If such an ocean exists, it would remain liquid due to internal heat trapped deep within Pluto. This possibility has transformed the scientific view of Pluto from a simple frozen object into a potentially complex planetary system with a rich internal history. Pluto is not alone. It is accompanied by five known moons. The largest is Charon, discovered in 1978. Charon is so massive relative to Pluto that the two bodies orbit a common center of gravity located outside Pluto itself. For this reason, many astronomers describe Pluto and Charon as a binary dwarf planet system. The remaining moons, Nix, Hydra, Kerberos, and Styx, are much smaller, but add further complexity to this remarkable system. Pluto and Charon, they are like a planetary partnership. No discussion of Pluto is complete without mentioning Charon, its largest moon. Charon is enormous compared with Pluto, roughly half Pluto's size. This makes their relationship unique in the solar system. Rather than one body clearly dominating the other, Pluto and Charon orbit a common center of gravity. Because of this unusual arrangement, some scientists informally refer to them as a double world. Together with Pluto's four smaller moons, Styx, Nix, Kerberos, and Hydra, they form a miniature planetary system at the edge of the Sun's domain. Pluto's greatest surprise is not that it was reclassified. Its greatest surprise is that it refused to be simple. What once appeared as a distant point of light turned out to be a world of towering water ice mountains, flowing nitrogen glaciers, vast frozen plains, a layered atmosphere, and perhaps even a hidden ocean beneath its crust. Far from being a forgotten outpost, Pluto has become a reminder that the solar system is more diverse and more extraordinary than we ever imagined. Pluto may be one of the smallest known worlds in our solar system, but it has taught us some of the greatest lessons. It reminds us that size does not determine significance. At the edge of the solar system lies a dynamic world of frozen mountains, moving glaciers, seasonal atmospheres, and hidden mysteries waiting to be explored. In astronomy, Pluto represents one of humanity's greatest voices of discovery. And perhaps the most remarkable lesson of all is this: the further we travel into the unknown, the more surprising the universe becomes. In my future episodes, we shall bridge this scientific understanding with the profound symbolism of Vedic astrology, exploring why Pluto has become associated with transformation, hidden forces, collective evolution, and the great cycles of civilization. Until then, keep looking upwards, keep learning, and remember, the universe is not merely a collection of distant worlds. It is a vast cosmic classroom waiting to reveal its timeless wisdom. The greatest discovery about Pluto may not be what we can see on its surface, but what could be hidden beneath it, an unseen ocean locked under ice for billions of years, waiting to tell us the next chapter of Pluto's story. To understand Pluto is to understand the persistence of activity in the deepest cold. It is a world of nitrogen glaciers, mountain peaks of frozen water, and a dynamic, shifting atmosphere. It stands as a sentinel at the gateway to the interstellar medium, reminding us that even at the edge of the dark, there is movement, there is history, and there is a landscape shaped by forces we are only just beginning to comprehend. You may ask a question: why collect all this information about Pluto when it has very little significance in astrology? Well, to find the correct logic and reasoning, you need to wait until the last episode. Stay tuned. In the last episode, we would see why Pluto has significance in Vedic astrology as well. The bridge to episode 1. The journey begins. Our preparation is complete. The cosmic maps have been studied and locked. The ancient records awakened, and the time machine stands ready. But knowledge alone cannot reveal history. We must witness it with our own eyes. In our next episode, we leave the comfort of the present and begin an extraordinary voyage across the river of time. Our destination is the year 1532, a pivotal moment when Pluto entered the zodiac sign Aquarius, silently sowing the seeds of a new civilization. Together, we will stand among kings, reformers, visionaries, and revolutionaries to uncover how the movements of the heavens shaped the destiny of humanity. The time machine is ready. Our next stop, the year 1532, and the Kaal Chakra awaits. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Pluto's physical majesty. Keep looking up and keep questioning. If you enjoyed this presentation on Vedic astrology, smash that like button, subscribe button, turn on notifications, and contact for individual consultation. Namaskar and thank you until next time.